Michael had a day off today, but he told his wife that he would be working and would probably be late. This was said on purpose, as he had heard rumors that Linda was having an affair with some engineer from their department. She said that she would be at home right after work today, but if she was going to go somewhere, she would definitely call back. As Michael thought, at the end of the working day, Linda went in a completely different direction, and not alone. She was accompanied by an unmarried friend from the department and a man whom Michael did not know and saw for the first time. The man was walking in the middle, and the women were holding his arms. They were so engrossed in the conversation that Linda did not notice Michael when she passed by the kiosk, behind which he was actually hiding. Michael followed them slowly and overheard Linda addressing the man by name with a suggestion. "William, if you buy, then only dry wine. I won't drink fortified, my husband doesn't drink, and he'll hear the smell. I'll just say that I drank champagne. It was the girl's birthday, though, Sophia, I don't know. I have to hide the smell from no one." After hearing everything he wanted to say, Michael headed towards the house, but then changed his mind and went to the garage. It was well equipped. On the way, Michael decided that he needed to move to the country and look for an apartment, preferably closer to work. When he was almost at the garage, his phone rang. Michael immediately realized that it was his wife calling, but decided to answer. "Michael, it's me. I'm visiting Sophia here. I'll stay a little bit, but I'll be home by evening. Has William already brought some dry wine?" "He ran away fast," Michael said, turning off the phone, realizing that he was about to say stupid things. Linda, having heard about the dry wine and the one being conducted, stopped and looked around. She realized that her husband was somewhere nearby. She called back, but the phone was out of range. Then she dialed a friend. "Paul, I'm listening to you." "Paul, is Michael far away from you?" "And he took the day off today, so he's not on shift. He has a second shift tomorrow. Is something wrong?" "Yes, I'm calling him. He's not responding." "Okay, I'll go to the store myself." After finishing the conversation with Paul, Linda said, "I'm sorry, I have to get home right away." "What is it? Something happened?" "Looks like it is." "So you're not staying with us?" "No, I can't. It's a pity. When can we get together like this again?" Sophia joined the conversation, realizing that Linda's sudden refusal to have a good time was due to a phone call. "I guess I won't go either. I have a lot of my own things to do." "Girls, how come?" "I invited Clement to visit me. He will bring cognac. We would have a rest." "Which Clement? What did you come up with?" "I'm sorry, but we don't need anyone. I'm married, and Sophia doesn't live alone." "Okay, I don't have time. I ran home." "Me too." Linda and Sophia turned around and walked to the bus stop. They lived not far from each other. William dejectedly hid a bottle of wine in a bag and wandered towards his house. As I approached him, I saw that Clement was already there. The light was on in the kitchen. He went up to the floor and entered the apartment. "So, where are the promised ladies?" Alas, the ladies lost their temper. "Well, I bought 2 bottles of cognac. By the way, I also took some dry wine and snacks. Have you put the wine for the women on the table yet?" "I put it on and even opened it." "Should I bill them?" "I agree. But they gave us an order for a married woman." "I think we shouldn't have done it." "Why do you think that?" "It looks like someone turned us into her husband. And most likely, the customer did it himself so that we could have a showdown with him. But I don't understand why the customer would do that. And what kind of poison did he give us?" "Maybe you're right, but starting today, I'm ending my friendship with her. We're just colleagues. And I'll try the herb from his bottle later, when I drink the cognac." "Okay, colleague. Let's get to the table. I've already prepared everything. First, cognac, and then you can grind the crackers, and then we'll get to the free bottle." Michael decided to go to the cafe, where his wife was having lunch. He remembered that the owner of the establishment was his client. Michael repaired his car a couple of times for a nominal fee. Michael thought, "I'll go to him, ask who my wife is having lunch with. It will probably turn out to be with William, because they work together." But after drinking more than half a bottle of vodka, Michael went to bed, ignoring the squeaks of the mice. Linda cooked dinner, believing that her husband would return home. She set the table, but Michael didn't show up. Calls to the mobile did not give anything. When Michael woke up in the morning, he washed his face, packed up, and went to the dumpling shop located near the train station, where they worked around the clock. After having a double portion of buttered dumplings for breakfast, he changed his mind about going to the cafe where his wife was having lunch, deciding that he did not need it. After activating the phone, Michael immediately received a call from the reception of the company. "I'm listening." "Michael, are you far from the company? Are there any problems?" "The director asked you to come to him, if possible, then now." "I can't do it now, but I'll be there within half an hour." "What kind of fire is there? Is something broken in the workshop?" "No, everything is fine in the workshop." "What happened?" "I do not know." Half an hour later, Michael walked through the entrance of the Enterprise, wondering what could make the director condescend to the senior foreman of the workshop. Maybe his wife was making some kind of fuss? Michael went up to the second floor and entered the reception area. "Michael, come in," the receptionist said. He went into the director's office. There was not only the director, but also the head of the workshop, Matthew Simmons. They were discussing something. "Michael, come on in. We have a conversation for you." "I'm sorry we pulled you out of work. You're on the second shift, aren't you?" "Yes, the second one." "I know. Matthew Simmons told me about it." "Is something broken?" "Everything is fine with you. I just have a suggestion for you." "I'm listening carefully." "Matthew Simmons insists on retiring and offers you in his place. He's sure you can handle it." "I don't know. It's all so sudden. Besides, I don't have a college degree." "Don't worry about your education. The company has the right to hire an employee without higher education if the law does not require it. And there are no such requirements for the position of shop supervisor. Besides, you have more than 5 years of professional experience at our company. I have already discussed this issue with the founders. They do not object. So get ready. You will go to finish your studies at the university in the direction of our company." "And how am I going to live?" "You will study by correspondence. This issue has already been resolved. You have a session in 2 days." "I know where the university is, but did I ever tell you about exams?" "You just go to the rector and write an application for reinstatement at the university in the correspondence department." "And who should I turn over my files to?" "You decide for yourself." Matthew Simmons recommended Paul to take your place. Michael left the office of the company. He decided to warn his friend Paul about the unexpected changes and dialed his number. "Paul, he finally showed up. I called you last night." "About what?" "At first, your wife called you, looking for you. Then Matthew Simmons came in and said he offered you his job and me yours." "I know. I just came out of the director's office. I'm going to study at the university by correspondence." "Did you come up with this yourself?" "I found out about it only 10 minutes ago." "I see. Can I congratulate you?"
Yes.
"I accepted the position of shop supervisor. And in a year, maybe I'll become the chief engineer." "Okay, the position needs to be cleaned. Where do we decide? With you or with me?" "Tomorrow is the day off." "It's already my day off. I'm going to the country now. So the season is already over. I have my study papers in the attic. I was going to heat the stove with them, but I didn't get around to it. I didn't think I'd have to study again. So maybe we can meet there?" "You're on the second shift today." "I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about tomorrow. Wives will not interfere." "Listen, tell your friend that the machine is broken and you are staying overnight in the workshop. And you can come to my place, to the garage, or to the cottage. I'll cover the clearing. Let's talk." "Let's go to the cottage. Otherwise there's something wrong in the garage. And here's the thing, if Linda calls or you meet her, don't say anything about me. You don't know where I am." "Is something wrong?" "I'll tell you later when we meet. And today I'm on vacation for her." Michael drove home, knowing that his wife was not there. He washed quickly, shaved, went into the bedroom, took out his documents, and changed his shirt. Half an hour later, he was already driving a minibus towards the cottage. He found the box with documents and certificates quickly. After lunch, I met with the rector and showed him all the papers. The rector looked through them carefully. "You have a long break in your studies. So, I'm sorry, you'll have to take everything, even what you took a long time ago." "Even arithmetic?" "Maybe arithmetic, too." "So far, you have been enrolled in the paid correspondence department at the request of your director."
Paid. No one told me about it.
"I don't know. The money has already been received for the entire period of study. Your task is to meet the expectations placed on you. Got it. I will try my best. From the university, Michael went to the mall. He had free time today, and his studies started on Monday. At the mall, he bought snacks and 3 bottles of vodka, then boarded a minibus and drove to his dacha. When I arrived, I turned on the gas heating at full capacity, went to the neighbor's to buy potatoes. These chickens are crazy, the neighbor said. We applied 3 buckets of eggs. We won't eat that much. How many chickens do you have? Yes, 150 pieces. How many eggs will you take? 3 dozen if you don't mind. By 11 p.m., the table was set. Paul called back. I'm on my way. After 40 minutes, the gate slammed, and Paul entered the yard. Come on in. What did you tell your wife? Whose is it, yours or his? Wow, they got you covered. Yes, brother, they did. Well, come on in, wash your hands, and get to the table. They sat down at the table, but Michael was in no hurry to ask questions. Let's drink to my appointment first. They had a drink and a snack. How did your wives tax you? No. First, let's drink to the position of the senior foreman of the workshop. I have already signed the order today. Then pour it. Paul looked at Michael and said, She's been waiting for you. She said you left home. You were jealous of some jerk. Who, by the way, got fired today. William?
Yes.
Fired. For what? He came to work drunk and started harassing one of the young girls in the accounting department. She didn't like it. She called the police, and he was taken away. And he also got into a fight with the police when they arrived?
Exactly.
And how was he fired? Of my own volition. Did you write the application yourself? Not really. They forced him to do it right in the department. Who is this girl? The director's daughter. He got her a job in accounting so that she could go through all the departments and better understand the work of the company. Well, William ran into it.
Yes.
And you told my wife where we were meeting, of course? No, I didn't say anything. But I think when I called my wife and told her that our machine was broken and I was staying to fix it, she guessed that I was coming to you. Maybe they were trying to follow me, but I double-checked and didn't notice any surveillance. And if they were, I took them to the garages, escaped through the emergency gate, got back in the car to the guy from the neighboring workshop, and he brought me here. Now tell me what's going on with you and Linda. Michael thought about it, poured vodka, and began to tell Paul about what happened with his wife. Meanwhile, Paul's wife was sitting in Linda's apartment, and they were discussing today. Has Michael been in touch? Sophia asked.
No. But I can guess where he might be.
And where? He spent the first night in the garage. I was there today. I looked at everything. There are traces of his presence, but he's not there today. I think he's at the cottage. What are you going to do? I won't touch it yet. Let it cool down. It's my own fault. I got in touch with this William. And you, Sophia, played your part too. But what's it to you? You're not married. Linda, you guessed wrong. My boyfriend proposed to me. Then why did you come to me instead of with your fiancé? He's working today. The working day has already ended, but he's on a side job. We have to finish everything today, and we'll be together all day tomorrow. Now let's think about how I can help you. It's too early to tell. I do not know how events will develop. We need to talk to Michael before making a decision. So, talk to me. If you know where to look for him. I don't know for sure, but I can guess. But I can't talk because I don't know how to explain my actions to him. He won't believe anything now. Meanwhile, William woke up in the temporary detention center. He was lying in a small cell, as I later found out, in a punishment cell. When are you going home? I've already sobered up. Home. Tomorrow if the investigator decides to let you go. In the meantime, you are detained on the basis of protocol. For what? Well, my friend and I drank a little more than we had planned. That's it. How much is a little more? 2 bottles of cognac and a bottle of wine for 2. And after that you went to work? I also had a beer on the way. Why did you bother the girl? I don't remember that. Why are you fighting with the police squad? I don't remember that either. It's for nothing. They remember. And all this was filmed on body cameras. How can I talk to them? It definitely won't work in the isolation ward. Tomorrow, maybe they'll take you to the police department and you can talk there. but I have to go to work. Not anymore. As far as I know, you have written a letter of resignation. What kind of dismissal? The usual. You're already fired. On your own.
Exactly.
The escort who brought you here told me that. Go back to sleep. You can't solve anything today anyway. The next morning, Michael wasn't going anywhere, but he assumed that he would have to live in the country for a while until he found a place to live. He washed his face slowly, went into the kitchen, and cleaned up the remnants of yesterday's meetings with Paul. At that time, Paul also came there. What are we going to do now? Are you going to hide for a long time? While I was cleaning, I thought, I won't hide. Make scandals too. But I won't live with her either. If she shows up here, I'll tell her to leave. And if he doesn't leave, I'll leave. You have a lot of things to do without her right now, both managing the workshop and studying at the university. Just don't be petty. You've worked on the shop floor for so many years, and in more than one. This is a vacation for you. And with your studies, you have to teach yourself. And Linda, according to my wife, immediately after talking to you, she turned around and went home. I should have just knocked William on the head. Where is he now? He's probably in the monkey house.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I would have been sitting there. And who would feel better about it? But you have to make a choice. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to live with her, but I'm not going to get a divorce either. If she needs to, let her get a divorce. What about the apartment? I will offer her to live there and I will move here. I have everything here, water, sewerage, heating. If you want, stoke it with gas if you want the stove. I even have a sauna with a steam room. Again, the river is nearby. I'll be fishing for herring there in the summer. No, there are no herring in this river. Okay, someone's out there. In extreme cases, cancers. Crayfish are not fish. What's the difference? They should also be caught and consumed with beer. Will you give me a hangover? Not a question. Wash up and get to the table. See, it's already set. And the vodka is getting cold in the freezer. And what should I tell my wife if she calls? Tell them that you adjusted the machine last night. Then I'll come back. After all, I am the head of the workshop and now you are the senior foreman. So you'll be late. And where do we wash? For old time's sake, on a patch. So you'll be home by 4 in the afternoon. At that time, the phone rang. It's Kate, Paul said. Answer me, don't delay. Paul picked up the phone. Kate, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. Tell me a story about how you repaired the machine there. Okay, pack up, let's go to your house. Yours probably already made the dumplings. We have a freezer full of them. When we're fighting, we sit down and make dumplings. While we're sculpting, we'll make up. Okay, then we're going. The friends quickly packed up and went to the city. Arriving at Paul and Kate's apartment, Paul asked from the doorway, You boil the dumplings for us. That's exactly what I was going to do. Just don't cook it yet. The water is already boiling. How do you get from another planet? Michael, come into the hall. I have some questions for you. You, and me, too. What are you interested in? Why are you forcing my grandfather to lie about some kind of machine repairs? Aren't there stories to tell? I already know what Linda did, and that you didn't spend the night at home. This is wrong. I will not interfere in your family quarrels, but I urge you to sit down at the table and talk. So come to the gym. Linda is there. Paul, I told you there would be an ambush. And you, Paul, go to the kitchen. You will help me cook dumplings. Get them at the rate of 30 pieces per person. That's 120 pieces. No, it's 150. Linda's friend Sophia will also be with us. Paul, without entering into further arguments with his wife, obediently trudged into the kitchen. Michael entered the room where Linda was sitting. He sat down in an armchair by the coffee table and said, I'm listening. Michael, everything turned out stupidly. I'm waiting. William hung around me for a week, but I thought he was courting Sophia. She's younger and single. So what? I asked her what she thought of him. She said she didn't mind dating him, even though she had a boyfriend, but he was dragging his feet on getting married. And William invited us to visit, promising that we would be home by 9 p.m. He gave me time to think. Sophia agreed to go if I went. I thought it would be a chance for Sophia and William to get closer, so I agreed. Next, Only later, after the call, I found out that William's friend was sitting at home and waiting for us. I would not have allowed such a turn at all. I would have left right away. The most unpleasant thing about all this is that I told you a lie. And she gave me a reason to doubt me. I understand how it looks, and I apologize. I won't give you any more reason to doubt my honesty. I need time to think about everything and make a decision. I don't hide the fact that I want to meet with William and find out who put him up to it. For now, I'll be living in the country. Why at the cottage? We have a spare room at home. That's what I decided. Soon everyone was called to the table. Sophia came and said, "I won't be long. I have an important date today. I'm going to meet my boyfriend's parents. Tell me, why did you agree to go to William? It's time for me to get married."
I want a family and children.
And my boyfriend was dragging his feet with the offer. I thought he'd change his mind. But it turned out that he was saving up for a ring and a wedding. And as for William, it wasn't that easy for him. Blood tests showed that, in addition to cognac, he had been using drugs that night. What?
Yes.
He remembered that during the drinking session, he and Clement had drunk wine given to them by a stranger. The police, along with William, visited the apartment, where they found Clement in a deranged state and remnants of wine. Clement was sent to a drug treatment center, and a couple of days later to a temporary detention center. Later, William and Clement began to cooperate with the investigation and confessed. It followed from their words that the stranger suggested William seduce Linda. But Sophia was always with her, and to distract her, William invited Clement's friend. The customer handed William a bottle of specially prepared wine. However, when they were on their way to William's, someone called, and first Linda, and then Sophia refused to go. Michael was questioned about the case and persuaded the investigator to arrange a meeting with William. At the meeting, William described the man who ordered the seduction of Linda. According to the description, he resembled a master from a neighboring workshop. It turned out to be Igor Nichols. He learned about Matthew Sims' impending retirement and that the director was going to appoint Michael in his place. Igor Nichols wanted to take this position and decided to eliminate Michael. Knowing his short-tempered nature, he hoped that he would start a fight. Igor Nichols' wife called Michael. However, Michael showed restraint, and this scenario did not work. That's why William was given wine laced with drugs, in case the fight plan failed. As a result, after much thought, Michael returned home. A serious conversation took place with Linda, during which a truce was concluded. Michael warned, "One more misdemeanor and a divorce is inevitable." Linda, knowing how things could end up at William's apartment, understood this. William, his friend Clement, and Igor Nichols were sentenced to various terms of imprisonment. Igor Nichols' wife received a suspended sentence. Sophia got married as planned. She never told her husband about that adventure. And that's where the story ends. Thinking out loud, you once again see how easily deception or omission can jeopardize everything that is most precious.